Welcome back to the Titan Talk podcast. As now we are in episode 8 as we are going to be diving down into the Titans-Browns game this week as Cam Ward had perfect timing over Shedeur Sanders this week as the Titans did get their second win of the season. And we're going to dive into all that right now. Now, diving into it, we're going to start out for our 3 key takeaways this week. First key we have here is the Titans had a great scheme to take away Myles Garrett from that Browns defense. What was your thoughts on that?
Oh, it was absolutely great. You know, they had a lot of bootlegs. They were getting Cam Ward outside of the pocket. Cam Ward was throwing the ball very quickly. They were having tight ends like Gunnar Helm, like Chigakonko, like David Martin Robinson coming in helping chipping on Myles Garrett. It was a beautiful game plan. If you remember the last time Titans played the Browns, Myles Garrett had a career day. This time, I think it was the emphasis the Titans decided we're not going to let this game be determined by Myles Garrett. So they pretty much game planned for Myles Garrett. And give them credit. The Titans were successful.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to give credit to Mike McCoy for that. He had a great plan going against Myles Garrett there, and they did take him away from that Browns defense. Next, looking at these key takeaways, I'm going to change the next one. I did have the play calling was a bit better, which it was. But I think second key takeaway here, I'm going to go with Tony Pollard's big game this week, having his career-long rushing touchdown.
Oh, yeah, Tony Pollard, he was just ripping them off 60-yarders, 30-yarders. Tony Pollard played great. He's been really lackluster this season. People think of Tony Pollard as a pretty bad running back, but if you take a look, they mentioned it on the broadcast yesterday that Tony Pollard is one of only 3 or 4 running backs to have 3,000-yard seasons in a row. So Tony Pollard's been pretty good for the tenure for the Tennessee Titans, and this was his best game as a Titan so far this season.
Yeah, I agree. He looked great. Moving into our final key takeaway of the game, it is that the Titans' defense secondary did struggle during this game. Shedeur Sanders had put up great numbers, but no, the play calling or the play there is to be questioned on if he really did play that great or if it was just good.
Well, yeah, outside of Armani Hooker, there's really no one left from this secondary that began the season with. And half of this credit is because the Titans' secondary was really bad, but the other half is, I know me and Nate, we disagree about this. We'll probably get into a debate in just a second, but Shedeur Sanders played really well. Shedeur Sanders found his open man. Shedeur Sanders was accurate and on time. Shedeur Sanders did a great job getting the ball quickly thrown to avoid the pass rush by the Tennessee Titans for the most part, except for Jeff Simmons. He was a dog. But Shedeur Sanders outplayed Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders looked better than Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders played an excellent game. If I'm a Browns fan, I would be furious that Shedeur Sanders was not on the field at that 2-point conversion to try and tie it up. But nonetheless, Titans got the job done.
I'm going to disagree. I think Shedeur Sanders is really showing a lot of rookie mistakes, I guess you would call it. Because when he gets pressured, he runs back 10, 15 yards and spins around and tries to go that way. That did not work for him in this game. Simmons was all over that, and he lost a bunch of yards from just doing that weird backing up and twirling around. I don't know, but I think he's a good/decent quarterback. I think he could be a starting quarterback for the Browns. I just don't think he's as good as Cam Ward, and I don't think he's going to be some future legend we talk about in years to come.
I think he has a slightly better supporting cast around him than Cam Ward does. But let's face it, Shedeur Sanders is full of raw talent. Shedeur Sanders was thought to be the number 1 pick. You know, late into the college football season, even into the offseason, Shedeur Sanders was floating around as the number 1 pick. Titans ended up going with Cam Ward. And I'm not saying that I'm not happy with that decision to go with Cam Ward. I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders looked better than Cam Ward. I'm saying this game right here, Shedeur Sanders performed better than Cam Ward. Now, Shedeur Sanders, absolutely, he has his flaws. He sort of tries to make something out of nothing a little too much. Cam Ward's also had that mistake. Both quarterbacks had a really bad interception, but both quarterbacks played pretty good in my opinion. One quarterback in Cam Ward did enough to get his team to win. He sort of managed the game, whereas Shedeur Sanders sort of took over the game. That was the difference right there. But Cam Ward got the win. But I think this is going to be a fun rivalry, Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders, that we're going to see in the future. But I think it can be a healthy rivalry, Nate. I don't think it's always going to be, well, this guy's better than this guy. This guy made a mistake. These people made a mistake. Because it's always going to be the Titans made a mistake. Even if Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are equal, the Titans spent a number 1 pick on Cam Ward, and the Browns got Shedeur in the 5th round. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference right there. I think Shedeur Sanders proved that he was severely underrated, that he should have been drafted in the 1st round. Should he have been taken with the 1 pick? I think it's a debate we'll have at the end of the season.
I agree. I think he did get underestimated. He should have got taken the 2nd or 3rd round, but I still think Cam Ward is miles better than Shedeur Sanders.
That's where I disagree. I don't think that he's miles. I don't see how you can say Cam Ward is miles better than Shedeur Sanders. I can see if you say Cam Ward's slightly better. I can see if you say they're pretty much the same, working through rookie mistakes. But to say that Cam Ward is a mile better than Shedeur Sanders, I can't see it.
You also have to think, though, Cam Ward has nothing to work with. Shedeur has something to work with. He has some decent targets there. He has Dylan Sampson, Quinshad Judkins. He has Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman. Those are pretty decent receivers and running backs, especially Dylan Sampson there at running back. Cam Ward has nothing. And if you are there saying Cam Ward is playing better than Shedeur Sanders already, just think when Cam Ward gets a team, he's going to look like a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Cam Ward has nothing. You're right, Nate. He has the worst supporting cast in the NFL. He has the worst receivers, the worst running backs, one of the worst offensive lines. Shedeur Sanders isn't that far better than, though. I don't think I'm sitting here and saying that Harold Fannin Jr., Cedric Tillman, and Jerry Jeudy are this elite 3, the killer bees, or whatever you want to call them. No, they're probably top 5 worst. It's just Cam Ward is number 1 worst. So I see what you're saying there, but I just disagree. I don't think he's miles better.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that later in the season, as we do have coming up soon at the end of the season our Titan Talk Awards, where we'll be giving our picks for Offensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and all of the above. That's coming soon. We're going to give a date to y'all when we decide that out. But next, we're going to move into our picks for Titan of the Week. And my Titan of the Week, I'm going to go with Tony Pollard this week. He had, let's take a look at the stats here. You know, Tony Pollard had his season high game this week where he rushed for
he was doing so good.
Yeah.
What a career game by Tony Pollard. It was probably the best game I've saw Titans running back play since the Derrick Henry days.
Yeah, rushing 25 times for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. Who are you going to go with your Titan of the Week, Luke?
Well, my Titan of the Week, obviously, Nate went first. I probably would have went with Tony Pollard. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm going to throw a little bone in there, go a little different take for you. Give me Big Jeff Simmons. This man brought the attitude to the team. He brought the culture to the team. He brings the winning spirit to the football team. Jeff Simmons recorded 7 tackles, 2 of which were solo tackles. He had a sack and a half, 2 tackles for loss, a pass deflection, and 3 quarterback hits. The man was covering the bingo sheet defensively for a defensive tackle. He was absolutely phenomenal getting on the ball fast. He performed better than Myles Garrett. He was probably the best defensive player playing on the field. Him and Cedric Gray, really, what a tandem those two are. But that's my Titan of the Week, Jeffrey Simmons.
I agree. Simmons played phenomenal. But now we are going to dive into our predictions for Week 15 and give our thoughts on the games going forward. Welcome back to the Titan Talk podcast. As we are now going to get into our predictions for Week 15, and we're just going to dive right into it on Thursday Night Football. We have the 4-9 Atlanta Falcons, who is just eliminated from playoff contention, traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the 7-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who just did lose to the New Orleans Saints.
I have the Falcons winning this one. I think it'll be an upset, especially after the Bucs losing to the Saints out of everyone. Just give me the Falcons.
I'm going to disagree. I have the Buccaneers here as they're struggling to stay atop of that NFC North or NFC South division, trying to keep ahead of the Panthers. I got the Bucs here.
Those of you who are running the records, Nate's up right now by 4 games. I just came back. He was up 6. I've cut it down to 4. Give me the Bucs to win this game right here.
Yeah, speaking of the predictions, let's dive into our records. I have 49 right on the year and 34 wrong. Last week I went for a total of 5 right, 7 wrong. Luke, for his total, 45 right and 38 wrong, with his total of 7 right and 5 wrong for this week. And Evan with 20 right and 21 wrong. And this week he went 6 for 6 on the predictions.
All right, I have a proposition here that I want to make with you guys. I think because Evan started later, and I think because he needs maybe a little boost to catch up, I think whatever he gets right this next week, we double it for him.
Okay.
So if he
that's
gets
fair.
10 right, then he can get plus 20. So whatever you get right this time, Evan, you're getting doubling. So you got to make sure you give good picks.
Yeah, I beat Nate last week, so I like those odds.
We'll see what happens this week. As next, we're going to move into the 12 o'clock games on Sunday. We have the 9-4 Buffalo Bills traveling to the 11-2 New England Patriots coming off the bye week.
I have, by some miracle, the Patriots coming out on top on this one.
Not a bad choice, but I think I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills here. You know, they're coming off of a surprising rally win over the Bengals, and they're trying to catch up to that division spot. I think they might just do that, so I got the Bills here.
The Pats would seal the deal with a win and give them the division. It's just the stakes are high. The Patriots are a great team. I'm going with Evan here. Give me New England.
Wow. Maybe new kings in the AFC South once again. But all right, next, we're going into the next game. We have the 6-7 Baltimore Ravens traveling to Cincinnati to take on the 4-9 Cincinnati Bengals, who are struggling to keep up in the playoff race.
I have the Bengals coming out on top on this one. I think that ever since Burrow has been back, they have been a solid team, and the Burrow-Chase combination is just insane. So they're coming out on top.
I'm going to agree. I think the Bengals will catch up to the top of that division. Hot take, I think they win the AFC North this year. Give me the Bengals.
I don't think they win the AFC North. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to drop more than one game for the remainder of the season, but I don't think the Ravens are playing good right now. Give me the Bengals.
Moving into the next game, we have the 3-10 New York Jets traveling to the 9-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, who are now atop of the AFC South.
I have the Jaguars coming out on top on this one. I think it's going to be a blowout.
I agree. I got the Jaguars here.
Jags.
Next game, we have the 8-4 Los Angeles Chargers traveling to the 6-7 Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you have here, Evan?
I have the Chargers coming out on top on this one. I think it's not going to be close.
Man, it's hard to choose because, you know, if the Chiefs lose, then they're probably one game out from being eliminated. And then if you think about it, Titans play the Chiefs next week, so the Titans could officially eliminate the Chiefs from playoff contention. So I'm going to go with the Chargers here, and I think it's going to be really rough for the Chiefs going forward if they're 6-7 record.
Well, the Chiefs can't win the division now. They're officially eliminated from winning the division. The only chance they have is to go through the wild card where every team has a tiebreaker over them that's ahead of them. So here's the thing. The Chiefs have to win out. They can't lose this game. They have to win out. And I think Patrick Mahomes and company are capable of doing that. Give me Kansas City.
The only thing that I want to say about this, I think they could comfortably win this game, but I think Travis Kelce did sell that game for them. He had like 5 drops against the Houston Texans, and they were spot-on passes too. But we're just going to have to wait and see who comes out on top next Sunday. Moving into the next game, we have the 3-10 Arizona Cardinals traveling to the 8-5 Houston Texans.
I have the Texans coming out on top. They have been demolishing and just plowing through every team they've played lately, and I think they'll keep it going against the Cardinals.
I agree. I don't think the Cardinals have a chance here. They lost 45-17 to the Rams last week. Texans coming off of a high win against the Chiefs. I got the Texans here.
So I look who the Texans have played in their past 5 games. Excluding the Titans, they played the Bills, the Chiefs, the Jags, and the Colts, and they've won all those games. The Texans are a good team right now. Give me Houston to continue their winning streak.
Yeah, moving into the next game, we have the 3-10 Shedeur Sanders led Cleveland Browns traveling to Chicago to take on now the 7-seed Chicago Bears, who are 9-4 after losing this week.
I have the Bears coming out on top this one. Shedeur was looking good, but the rest of his team just continues to fall apart around him. And coming off of that loss against the Titans and the rivalry that they have been building up, I think that they're going to fall apart again.
I got the Bears here. I think they get back on track here and try to take back the lead in the NFC North, so I got the Bears.
Bears' offensive line isn't good. Guys, the Browns and Shedeur Sanders are looking good. Their defense is great, especially Not now that Cam Ward faced them, but still, I think the Browns are a solid team, and I don't think they're only going to settle for 3 wins this season. I think the Browns are going to pull off the upset, and they're going to beat the Chicago Bears.
Just solely off the defensive line?
I think that Myles Garrett and the defensive line will have an absolute bounce-back game.
The Titans' offensive line wasn't great either, so that will be an interesting game to watch to see who comes out on top there because, the Bears, they were eliminated from playoff contention, but now moving into a not-so-great game, we have the 3-10 Washington Commanders traveling to the 2-11 New York Giants, who are now the sole holders of the number 1 overall pick. Who do you have here, Evan?
I have the Commanders coming out slightly on top. I think this will be a very slow game to watch for anyone who wants to torment themselves. I would say go at it.
I'm going to disagree. I got the Giants here. Jaden Daniels came back in this game and came back last week and got hurt again. So I got the Giants here.
I mean, Mariota hasn't been playing that much worse than Jane Daniels has at his peak. I think the Commanders are a better team, more fundamentals, better coached. Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, and moving into the next game, oh boy, we have the 2-11 Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Philadelphia to take on the 8-4, as of now, Philadelphia Eagles, who are playing the Chargers tonight.
The Eagles, no question about it.
As much as I'd love the Raiders to win so we can climb back up in that draft stock, it's not going to happen. Philly's got this.
Give me the Eagles.
Moving into the next game, looks like it's going to be a pretty decent game. We have the 8-5 Indianapolis Colts traveling to the 10-3 top 5 team in the Seattle Seahawks.
I have the Seahawks going out, and this will be probably my favorite game of the week. But I think that the Seahawks are just going to continue destroying with Jackson Smith-Njigba.
I agree. I don't think the Colts stand a chance here. Most likely, Riley Leonard is going to be the starting quarterback for the Colts this week. They did not look good against the Jaguars last week, so I got the Seahawks winning pretty comfortably here.
With Daniel Jones, this would have been a very competitive game. Without Daniel Jones, Seahawks win by a lot.
Next game, another great game here. We have the 9-3-1 Green Bay Packers traveling to the number 1 seed in the AFC currently, the 11-2 Denver Broncos.
I have the Broncos coming out on top this one pretty easily.
I'm going to agree. I got the Broncos here. I think they will lock down that number 1 seed and get the bye in the playoffs this year.
Boys, the Packers have some of the roughest losses, but some of the best wins in the NFL against good teams. I think the Packers are going to beat a good team again on the road this week. Give me the Packers to get their 10th win of the season.
Not a bad take. The Packers did slightly come out and take the number 1 seed away from the Bears this week, so it's very possible in happening this week. Or the next game, we have the 7-6 Carolina Panthers traveling to now the 3-10 New Orleans Saints, who just beat the division-leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I feel like the Panthers are going to come out on top on this one. And that's it. The Saints are the Saints, and I feel like they're going to lose just like they have most of the season. I think last week was a very lucky fluke.
I'm going to agree. I got the Panthers here, and I think, who knows, they might take the lead in that division.
They already had the lead in the division.
They do?
The Saints beating the Bucs, the Panthers now lead the division. Give me the Panthers to extend their lead.
That's crazy. Moving into the next game, we have, this is the game of the week, the 8-5 Detroit Lions traveling to the 10-3 Los Angeles Rams.
I think the Rams come out on top on this one. It's going to be a really good game, and I think that they're going to just slightly edge out on top of the Lions.
I'm going to disagree with you. I know the Lions look great this week against the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football, and the Lions really need a win here to get back in that playoff race, because if the playoffs end right now, the Lions will be out of the playoffs. So I think the Lions get a very desperately needed win here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, that Thanksgiving game against the Bears is going to prove pivotal for the Lions, because right now they're on the outside by a game, but the Bears are the next spot in. They have 2 games on them, technically with the tiebreaker. The Lions are going to have to really start to win if they want in the playoffs, but the Rams are a great team. Give me the Los Angeles Rams to effectively sort of ruin the Lions' season.
Wow. Moving into the next game, it's going to be a rough game to watch, I think. Next game, Sunday Night Football. we have the 5-8 Minnesota Vikings traveling to Dallas to take on the 6-6-1 Dallas Cowboys.
I have the Cowboys coming out on top this one, and I think it's going to be a really good and close game.
Yeah, I got Cowboys, no question.
I don't know, boys. The Vikings got a great defense, and J.J. McCarthy didn't look bad last week. Give me the Cowboys, though.
Yeah. Moving in, Monday Night Football. Rough game here, but it might be competitive. We have the 6-7 Miami Dolphins traveling to the 7-6 Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you have here, Evan?
All right, I have the Steelers coming out on top on this one. It's going to be a really kind of slow-paced game. I think A-Chain is playing incredibly, but with the injury that he had last week, I don't think they really have any other weapons with him and Hill both out.
I disagree. I have the Dolphins here. You know, Jalen Waddle's been looking pretty decent for him. And I looked at the injury report on A-Chain, and it said he could have came back in the game as like an emergency back. So I got the Dolphins here moving back up to 500.
Well, look here. The Dolphins started this season 1-6, but Mike McDaniel's been coaching like his job's on the line because it is. Dolphins have rattled off 4 in a row right now against good teams, including the Commanders and including the Buffalo Bills and teams like that. And they have a pretty tough schedule toward the end of the way, but this is a winnable game for the Dolphins. The Steelers also need this game just as bad to keep a hold of their divisional lead. Man, this is going to be a fun one. I disagree on Monday Night Football, but give me Pittsburgh to pull through at home.
Yeah, and then moving on to this next Sunday, the Titans, who just won a game against the Cleveland Browns, we have now the 2-11 Tennessee Titans, are going to be traveling to San Francisco to take on the 9-4 San Francisco 49ers at 3:25 this week in the late afternoon slate.
I think the 49ers are easily going to demolish the Titans. They got lucky last time. It was perfect timing against Shedeur for them to get a win, but I feel like it stops right here.
What's your score prediction this week?
I'd say they're going to be the 49ers up 26-6.
I'm going to agree. I got the 49ers here. I don't think it'll be a very close game because, you know, Christian McCaffrey has looked solid these past few weeks, and I think the 49ers win. Give me 49ers 35-17.
I think the Titans cover here, guys. The Titans are going to cover. They're going to keep it within one score. Give me 23-31 San Francisco.
It's going to be could be a close game, but we'll have to wait and see on next Sunday afternoon. As now we are going to be transitioning over to our breakdown for Week 15 for the Tennessee Titans against the San Francisco 49ers, and we're going to do a deep dive into the stats and everything about that game, and we are going to jump over there right now. Now we're going to go into our recap for Titans 49ers going into this Sunday, as we have the 9-4 49ers are going to be taking on the 2-11 Titans. I do not think this is going to be a close game. 49ers are going to take this and run away with it and get a huge win here coming off a bye week, giving Christian McCaffrey time to rest, and Brock Purdy, who was injured earlier on in the season, should be getting back to 100%. And Titans possibly could come up with an upset, but I just do not see it happening whatsoever.
So, all right, now here's what I want to try and break down in this game. When you look at the positions, other than Jeff Simmons, the defensive tackle position, Niners got better linebackers, Niners got better corners, Niners got better ends, Niners have better middle linebackers, they have the better receivers, they have the better running backs, they have a far better offensive line, they have one of the best tight ends in the league. What position do you think is the closest with these two? Because I spent a lot of time talking about how Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are a lot closer than what Nate gives them credit for. But I'm telling you right now, Cam Ward and Brock Purdy are a lot closer than what the NFL and the media think of those. I think that Cam Ward and Brock Purdy are just about even, if not giving Cam Ward the edge on that one right there. I do not think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback in the National Football League, and I think that's the one place where the Titans could make up some of that score and cover the spread is with a Cam Ward great game.
I agree. I think Cam Ward I think it's close. I think Cam Ward might be a better quarterback. But now we're just going to give a quick overview of our prediction for this game. I have the Titans losing this game. I think the Titans will lose 35-17.
31-23. I think the Titans do cover, make it a one-score game, and might even have an opportunity to go down there and tie the game up. But I do think the San Francisco 49ers win because, let's face it, 49ers needed a lot worse than the Titans. You're not going to be disappointed if the Titans lose this game. You just want them to go be competitive. You want to see glimpses of hope. That's what you saw against Cleveland. That's what I want to see against San Francisco. If we lose, I'm okay with it. I just want the Titans to show glimmers of hope, and I don't want Mike McCoy to be so conservative.
I agree. I hope we go for it more on fourth down, but that is going to wrap things up for episode 8 of the Titan Talk podcast. A little bit of a quick episode there, but we're going to be back next week, episode 9. We're going to be recapping Titans 49ers, and we will be talking about going forward where the Titans will face the Kansas City Chiefs here in Nashville, as the Titans might possibly look to eliminate the playoff hopes for the Chiefs. But I do want to thank you all for watching, as we do have a quiz video coming up later this week. It's our first ever quiz video, and we will see y'all there.